What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 28 of The Rise of a Nation, here with FC Edmonton in the Canadian Premier League. Today we are back. It is North American League time. Yes, we are going to be taking on Alajuelense. I've not said that correctly, I'm almost certain. But yes, it's the quarter-finals, which, if we could win in, we would be guaranteed a spot, if I'm not mistaken, in the North American Champions League. So potential is massive going into this game. Even if we slip up here, we go into a second chance qualifier against another one of the losers in the quarterfinal. And as you can see, since we're last here, we've played 4 games. We started off with a win against Forge FC. You can see Mosavat getting the first of the goals. Obviously, really good to see one of the younger players just putting in a great performance. The next game against Pacific FC, very disappointing, a 2-0 defeat away from home. We bounced back from that with a 6-2 win against Halifax. You can see here Nick Daly with 4 goals to his name. He has been in fine goal-scoring form. And, well, unfortunately, following on from that, we lost 4-1 away from home against Halifax just a week later. That was with a fairly rotated team, just with one eye on today's games against Alajuelense. I'll be honest with you guys, it's been a long time since I recorded an episode of this series. It's probably been about 3 weeks. I recorded a load in advance before I went away. And then since I've come back, I had some episodes recorded. I wanted to get rid of the backlog before we came back. But it's good to be back, and I'm kind of looking at it now, and the memories of this squad are all flush, kind of, I guess, flooding back to me. You know, players like Karata, who is our right midfielder, who, well, fortunately we can play in this competition. Carlos Mora, with interest in him from afar. And then further up the field, of course, Nick Daly, and really the player who's become his new partner in crime, Jordan Hamilton. These two guys really have led the way as our 2 goal-scoring threats, it feels like, this year. So, going into this game, a little bit of team news. ABZ and Oyamada are both out on international duty. So, in the centre-back position, we're missing 2 of our first-choice players, which is definitely a problem to be worried about. So, in terms of the team for today's game, if we just look at the lineup here, it probably looks fairly standard for a lot of the positions. Of course, we've got Ace Vado, who joined us very recently, a very, very solid centre-mid indeed. But at the back, we're a little bit worse for wear. Solomon comes into the team. He's a pretty good centre-back. Soria, who has been on a big decline this year, is back in the team. You can see he has taken a wage cut and he has got a new contract now, the 33-year-old. I still feel like he has something to offer us. And Liam Fraser is going to play at the right centre-back position. On the bench, in terms of centre-backs, Kofi Opare is going to be the only centre-back option we have. So we're a little bit light on the ground there. Elsewhere on the bench, you can see we've got Alex Marshall, who is coming back from a bit of an injury, so he's not fully fit for this first leg. We've also got the Dirk, Mosavat, Norman, Deshays, and of course Caden Chung. I think we're in an okay situation going into this game. I'm pretty happy with how things are looking right now. I am just wondering if I want a left midfielder on the bench, and I kind of feel like I do. I feel like Elson Leon is probably the go-to player to bring in here. We've already got a number of centre mids, and we probably don't need too many more. So I'm going to take off one and then leave Deshays and Mosavat, our kind of 2 young regen centre mids, as the options on off the bench. And well, let's get into the first leg of this tie. Of course, we will be doing both legs today. Alajuelense are a team who have a lot of calibre in this competition. They've done very well in it in previous years. So I'm hoping that we can put in a very good performance in this first leg. And of course, they are a team that we're familiar with. We lost to them a couple of years ago. Can we get some revenge today? That is the big question. They are a team who very consistently get to the latter stages of this competition and get into the North American Champions League. They're not going to be pushovers, but we are going to start at home. So I'm looking for a really good defensive display, despite a few key players missing for us in the centre-back department. And well, hopefully from there, of course, we'll be going into the second leg, maybe with our noses ahead. That's what I would love to see. But yeah, this is not going to be easy. It's not a freebie. Of course, fantastic results previously to get this far. Karata, big ball in, headed away, but only as far as Liam Fraser. Could we do something here? Soria, of course, called back into the team with all the international duty stuff going on. Ball passed around to the edge, and now we need to be worried because we might need to transition into a more defensive shape here. Although we're pressing pretty high, Hamilton and Nick Daly, you know, very keen to get forward and just limit the time on the ball for the Alajuelense defence. Ace Vado gives it to Daly, who gives it to Kay. Now with Ace Vado again. Hamilton touches, turns, lays it to Nick Daly. for his 21st goal of the season. That is the start we wanted. 20 minutes gone. First clear-cut chance, and we've taken it. And that is very, very good news for us. Really good build-up play here. Nice passing play by the entire team. And the ball from Hamilton here was delightful. Little threaded ball through. Nick Daly with a few inches of space. Tucks it away into the bottom corner. And we'll be hoping for more of that, of course, in the remainder of this kind of fixture and the second leg, which is to come. Which, I don't know, away from home is going to be difficult. I feel like it's going to be a very different game. So here and now, I really want us to see kind of just to put in a great performance to start. Acevedo, of course, new addition to the team. A bit of a question mark over him. He was involved in the first goal and he's got the ball fairly frequently again here. Can he pick a pass out? Karata is probably the man this is going to end up going to. Over on the right-hand side, the ball pinged across. Nick Daly in pursuit, trying to force out an error. I mean, you always anticipate the goalkeepers to screw up in the match engine, don't you, when a back pass happens like that? Unfortunately, a degree of composure shown, but we are on the attack. Karata, can he get there? Nick Daly is queuing up, as is Hamilton. And Jordan Hamilton grabs his 15th. Karata using his pace just superbly to keep the ball in play there. And what a lovely, tidy little header at the end of it that was as well. Kazunori Karata, a player who you can definitely expect to see in the first team in coming years. Of course, just due to the foreign player rules, can't play too much in the Canadian Premier League. But, well, despite his lack of height, he's shown there what he's capable of. Technically, he is just so, so good. I mean, look at him in the match engine next to Mora. He's like a little baby. He's like a child. He's our child, though, and he's got real ability, although he needs to defend here. First real sighter on goal by Alajuelense there. It was a long-range effort. And from it, you can see we are now going to have, well, a set piece, a goal kick. And we're going to try and get it forward to Nick Daly. Flicks it onto Hamilton. Could he bang this in? Could he make it free? I don't know what the goalkeeper is doing. But my word, this is exactly the kind of performance we needed. Jordan Hamilton tucks it away. Nick Daly with the assist. Soria, big ball forward. Nick, big header. Big challenge and a huge win as well. And Hamilton, lovely little finish. It isn't exactly into the bottom corner, is it? I mean, how good is their keeper? I'm curious now. Karata puts in the ball on a plate. Nick Daly, can he score the rebound? He can. What is happening? This is a game we were not expected to win, and we're 4-0 up in the first leg after 36 minutes. We've had 6 shots on target. 4 of them have found the back of the net. What a performance this is turning out to be. Nick Daly tucks it away. I'm curious now. Who was their goalkeeper? I mean, I assume it was this guy. He doesn't look that bad, but I guess it's a little subpar. They have got a few players injured. But I don't know. Alajuelense have a very good, formidable team that we experienced firsthand, didn't we, a couple of years ago. We have got 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, and we've actually got another chance maybe here as an interception is missed. The ball finds its way to Hamilton. I mean, the job isn't done yet, but if we could get a 5th, we would be all but in the next round and qualifying for the North American Champions League, which, let's be honest, is just an exciting thought to have in our mind. Mora to Nick Daly. He turns and hits it. Oh, my word, Nick. Oh, my word. He's just picked up a hat-trick, and it's not even half-time. What have you actually done, you madman? Acevedo lays it off to him. And he just turns, then unleashes. I mean, the keeper gets a hand to it. It's not a strong enough hand. Mora gets the assist. Daly with a hat-trick in 21 minutes. I mean, at this point, Hamilton's going to want his hat-trick. Another highlight begins. Surely it's not going to be 6 before half-time. Hamilton down this wing. Crosses it in. Karata's lurking. Mora can't quite get that one. Although you can see here they clear it. But straight to our defence and we bring it forward again. Mora brings it forward, hits it. Oh my gosh, he's cracked the woodwork. The post still shaking after that thunderous effort. Could have been 6. Really could have been. We've got a corner here. I don't know if this is just a pointless highlight or if this is maybe another chance. It's straight down the keeper's throat. I feel like that is going to be all she wrote for the half. But, wow. What a return. What a return. 5 goals up here against Alajuelense. Exactly what we needed. I've accidentally handed the team talk over to our assistant, but, well, he's not screwed it up. Right now, we're looking for just a clean sheet. A clean sheet, and we'll know just a goal in the second leg means Alajuelense needs 7. if things were to stay as they are right now. That would not be a bad little situation to be in, would it? I mean, look at it. What a team performance. The average ratings across the board are so good right now. We do still need to defend. Moya crosses it in. Fraser heads it clearer to Mora. It's been these quick counter-attacks. You know, our two strikers really have worked wonders. Karata bringing the ball forward, all on his lonesome, lays off to Hamilton, to Daly, who hits it. He's got his 4th of the game. He got 4 against Halifax a couple of games ago. I considered it a fluke. I consider it a fluke no more. We are demolishing them. Karata, I thought he was just going to have a speculative effort from range, but instead he lays it to Hamilton, plays it forward to Nick Daly. Pinder gets a hand to it, but it's nowhere near a strong enough hand. And you can see there, Daly comfortably onside. I mean, we're going to the semi-finals. I'm going to call it now. I think the job is done. I mean, cue them now to score immediately from a set piece. I mean, Lovitz is having a bad game, allegedly, on an 8.1. I'm going to bring in Deshays as well. I'm going to bring in a few of the younger players. I think I was thinking about bringing in Deshays, but actually I don't think I am, just because Ace Vado and Mora are playing so well in the centre of the midfield. Could drop Mora deeper, I guess, and then bring in... We'll bring in Deshays to play centre mid on support. Of course, we've not even got Alex Marshall for today's game, because he wasn't fit enough to start. I might as well shout and demand more from the players. Of course, rotating the team a little bit, giving a few of the youngsters some game time. And, well, that is the best chance that Alajuelense have had all game. It's a shot that's gone wide of the post, though. And with 20 minutes left, I'm actually looking at it. The goalkeeper isn't the one we looked at before. It's this guy. Oh, wait, no, that's ignore me. Ignore me. It is the keeper we looked at before. For some reason, that was halfway scrolled down. I'm going crazy. The 6 goals have gone to my head, clearly. I've lost the ability to read. Ball here with Solomon. Now with Connor James, who's going to lump it clear to Nick Daly. Mora nods it down to Ace Vado. I mean, Nick Daly wants his 5th. Hamilton's looking for the hat-trick, of course. He could be through here. He hits it. The woodwork denies him. And then a heroic block by the defender. Just, I want to say it saves embarrassment. I feel like we're beyond the point of embarrassment now at 6-0. Hamilton, he could have another chance for his hat-trick here. Dispossessed with Solomon. I mean, you wouldn't know that we were missing our first choice defence, would you? Look at those average ratings. It's just been an immense team performance, this game. Dominate the ball. Been so clinical. That's been the big thing, really. It's been the clinicalness. And then right on cue, Soria. He's our centre-back. And he's just finished an effort like that. I mean, what do you do? What can you say? I'm actually almost feeling like I don't want to commentate the second leg. But I feel like I should do. Unless I just jump forward to the semi-finals now. And we do the semi-finals in today's episode as well as kind of a double. Or maybe there's a league game coming up that we could commentate. We've not done a Canadian Premier League game in a little while, so it could be nice to do one. I just feel like the second leg of this game is going to be a bit dead. I can't believe I'm saying that. Genuinely, we lost to this team previously. They have a good team. Which I just want to show you. If we look at their profile, Garrido... their centre mid. I mean, look how good he is. He would walk into our team. But somehow, we've won 7-0. I mean, the press were predicting a draw. Apparently, our quality was similar. I mean, the scoreline does not suggest that now, does it? 7-0. I mean, we're through, basically. Costa Rican opposition as well that we've beaten there. That is tricky. Really tricky. Daly, man of the match. I mean, he got 4 goals. He's always going to get man of the match with a performance like that. What a player this young Jamaican has turned out to be. A fan favourite already. I mean, genuinely, I am lost for words. I'm wondering if maybe we do the game against Valor, one of these 2 games, as a follow-up this episode. I just don't know when the next round of the North American League's going to be. But we will be in the semi-finals now. That is without a doubt. How are Valor doing? How far ahead are they? Let me refresh myself. Okay, Valor are going very, very strong. I think we'll come back for one of the games against Valor. That is a little bit ahead. I know some of you guys will have loved to have seen the second leg, but at 7-0, it's a dead game. So let's go forward. We'll take on Valor. I'm not sure which of these games it will be, unless, of course, the semi-final is drawn a little sooner. I mean, it all depends on the scheduling, I guess. Either way, we're going to do another game today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, so we are back and we are going to be taking on Valor. After a bit of kind of weighing up our options, it seems like the best game to do. You can see, looking at things, they have really been a surprise package, Valor. They are right at the top of the full league, and it's pretty highly likely that they could be the team we are taking on in the playoff stages. Of course, this stage of the competition is 18 matches, if I'm not mistaken. And, well, we are we're a little bit behind when it comes to the total number of games played, but you can see here Valor really have built up a nice little cushion over Halifax. And, well, we are going to be playing them twice, so perhaps a chance to put a dent in their chances. You can see here, just since you were last here, we played Addons in the second leg. A little bit disappointing. We drew 1-1, Nick Daly with a goal. It was a lot more evener again. They changed their system, and they were more difficult to beat, funnily enough. You can see here Lopez picked up man of the match in this game for them, the Costa Rican international. And then in the other game that we had, we took on Cavalry, who were rock bottom. I did rotate the team pretty much completely going into this game, with the exception of the strikers. And well, the one player we didn't rotate, Nick Daly, missed a penalty, which would have given us a bit more of a margin perhaps into this game. You can see Deshays scored not long after. They fought back through Bitar, and despite dominating the game, despite having more chances, we just couldn't find a way through, unfortunately. So anyway, let's get into today's game against Valor. As I said, in terms of for the league itself, this could prove to be quite a big game. We've got 3 games in hand on them. If we won all of our matches, we would only be on 23 points, so they would still be ahead of us. So a win for Valor here, and they are in a really strong position. In terms of our team, we're going to go with what I consider to pretty much be our strongest 11 right now. Of course, the right midfield position is still kind of the area of concern. And the reason it's the area of concern is because Karata is not registered because we don't have enough foreign player spots. And of course, Marcel Ruiz, he's out on loan, albeit raking us in a ton of money. You can see actually just looking at the club finances, we're almost at £600,000 in the black, which is pretty much unprecedented for us. It feels like since the beginning of time we've been struggling, but well, last year at one point we were on a negative £1.3 million. So to be this far positive is a good sign, and clearly all the loanings out that we're doing are actually proving to be worth it. But anyway, let's submit our team for this game. Alex Marshall is going to be making an appearance in it. This is pretty much our strongest team. Caden Chung, currently I feel like is our best option at right midfield, although compared to Ruiz, he is of course a massive step down. In the midfield, we're going to play Ace Vado in that deeper midfielder role, and then Mora and Marshall alongside one another. I mean, when you look at this team, it's pretty scary, to be honest. It's also rather impressive and kind of surprised me, coming back to save after a long break, just how we actually managed to get in the foreign player limits with our current squad. Because, truth be told, there is maybe a little bit of a lack of Canadian players in the starting 11, but obviously there's a fair few players with dual nationality. You've also got players like Fraser, Oyamada, Connor James, Chung, Lovett. I mean, when you look at it, actually, there's still a fair few Canadians in the team, but obviously a few players with dual nationality. Just one little bit of news that actually happened after the last game. Deshays made his international appearance for Canada, his debut. So that's really good news for the young attacking midfielder. Obviously a player with a ton of potential, and to see him get called up is great news going forward. As Alex Marshall, he wants to show us some great news going forward. Has 2 efforts, both blocked away. Only really a half chance. I don't know if either of those was the actual highlight. We are still on the attack here. Ace Vado to Nick Daly. He had his shooting boots on before. This time he lays it off to Hamilton, who beats the keeper at the near post. It's his 17th of the season. Saint Duck is probably sat on the bench wondering how the hell he's going to get back into the starting 11 at this rate. But a really nice goal there by Jordan Hamilton. It's his 17th of the season. Nick Daly turning provider. And these two guys, they just have a relationship. They just have an understanding. They're on the same wavelength as one another, it feels like, in the striking department. Ace Vado here. Oh my gosh, a lovely goal by him. His first ever goal for the club as well. Marshall with the assist. And well, welcome Nicholas. He was a pretty prolific player for us against Alajuelense in the first game of today's episode. And well, he's popped up with a goal here. Not an easy one either. Keeper probably should do a little bit better. A shot from a very similar kind of position in the pitch to the first goal. This time not beaten at the near post. He did manage Ace Vado just to get it to squeeze in at the back post. Almost shades of Chandel Senior there, a ball-winning midfielder in this 3-1-4-2 system, getting up the pitch, finding themselves in the penalty area and actually getting a shot away. Anyway, we got the ball again here. Number 98, it's Alex Marshall, of course. Through to Hamilton, who hits it. That was not far wide. I mean, Valla right now, I don't want to smack talk them. I'm underwhelmed. I was expecting a bigger challenge from them. You can see they have got Justin Yard, of course, our former player who we sold to them for £700,000. I think when you look at his average ratings and how he performed and the fact we got him on a free, we did pretty well to get £700,000 for him. Statistically, we have been all over them in this game. 2 half chances, 61% of possession, and they've only had 1 effort on our goal. Nick Daly is struggling quite a bit for fitness. So I do think we'll make a change here. So we'll drop Hamilton into the pressing forward role, and then the Duck, he's going to take to water. Let's see how he gets on. Of course, he's had some problems with injuries, but he is fit and raring to go here. And with, well, Nick Daly, it would be fair to say, being very actively involved in the first team, he probably deserves a rest, and it's now a good chance to do that. One thing I forgot to mention is that the semi-final draw has been made. We're taking on another Costa Rican side. I can't remember the team's name. This is really awkward. I want to check it. It is Herediano, I think. We're going to be playing them at the end of the month. That will be next episode, both legs of that tie. We have got a Pacific game kind of awkwardly slotted in between. With this full season, the fixture congestion is going to be pretty nasty, as you guys saw. We have kind of 3 games in hand on Valla. Some teams I think have played as many as 14 matches. So we really are behind when it comes to scheduling. So I feel like, you know, with the league, I'm going to be rotating the team a lot. Probably not going to show you guys the highlights from the Canadian Premier League games because, in truth, it's going to be our B team playing. I'm not going to be putting a load of priority into it. I want to go as far as we can in the North American League. Whilst we have now qualified for the North American Champions League, of course, I want to win silverware. I want to win every little bit of silverware. And I feel like we have a chance to do that. Maybe, just maybe, with this North American League. I mean, if we can, you know, put in more 7-0 performances against big teams like Alajuelense, we're going to be looking very strong in this competition. And it will give me hope that in going into the, you know, the Champions League, we can actually go toe-to-toe against the big boys, you know, the big Mexican and MLS sides. Although that is perhaps a little bit of a pipe dream right now. Anyway, I can talk all about how I want us to get really far in competitions. We need to defend here. Mora breaks down the play delightfully, plays through the Duck who hits it. And I mean, what a finish that is. Sure, he might not be into double figures yet, but if Duck can finish efforts and chances like that, I have no doubt he's going to hit 10 for the year. That is his 9th. Mora breaking down the play really nicely, brings the ball forward, puts it to the Duck. 1 touch to get it down, 2nd touch to get it out of his feet, straight into the top corner. 9th goal of the season for him. You can see here he was onside as well. There is no doubt about that. And 3-0, you probably could argue it's job done at this point. I'm going to bring in Deshays because Alex Marshall is lacking a little bit of match fitness. As I said, Deshays, international now for Canada. That is really, really exciting. One of the few players actually in our team, obviously in the national team setup alongside the likes of Hamilton. I mean, you can have a look here. Let's have a look. Now, senior team. Sort by clubs, and yeah, you can see here Hamilton and Deshays, 2 representatives, the 2 lone representatives from the Canadian Premier League as well. Good to see them there. Hopefully they're the first of many FC Edmonton players which will find themselves in and amongst the Canadian men's national team setup in the coming years. Anyway, we're not showing any sign of easing up here. We're looking for a 4th. Unfortunately, it's broken away. Maybe a chance here for Valla to get a consolation. Connor James, though, to the rescue. Great little save by him in goal. Tips it wide of the post, of course. His position may be under threat a little bit going forward, but Connor James has just always been really good for us. He's always put in the saves, and despite our young regen prospect, whose name I've forgotten, which is a little bit awkward, but despite him looking very, very good, who is it? It is Kevin Williams. Despite Kevin Williams looking good, Connor James makes it very difficult to drop him because he just always seems to perform quite well. I will apologise for in this match. I feel like I've clicked out of this match a lot to check various bits and pieces. I feel like having not touched the save in such a long time, there's little bits which I want to re-familiarise myself with. You know, names have escaped me. You know, who's in the national team has escaped me. There's lots of stuff that I feel I need to check up on to make sure I'm actually stating facts as opposed to just making stuff up in my head. But yes, a great little result there. And Ace Vado actually getting man of the match. Really, really do rate this guy. Very, very flexible centre mid. He's, of course, signed on a 4-year deal. Was released by the Uruguayan side, Liverpool. And he's definitely one player who I think is just going to be a massive part of our kind of game plan going forward. He is really, really well-rounded, isn't he, for at this level especially. Anyway, as I said, next time we'll be back for the Herediano games. It's going to be the North American League semi-final. Hopefully I will see you guys for that one. Between then and now, we've got Forger in 3rd, Valor who are in 1st, and Pacific in 6th. You guys don't care about them though. It's the continental football where things really matter, and what a result the first game was today. Hopefully we can have more results like this. Hopefully Nick Daly can grab another 4. And of course, that's terrible English. Of course, hopefully 2, we can get another win, like a 7-0. Unlikely as it might be. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Drop a like if you have. And yeah, that is all from me today. Take care, guys. I'm out.